So my experience becoming a father for the first time looked a lot different from most people in terms of tradition. My experience is very unconventional. At the time that my wife and I were just dating, she already had a son who was about 3 or 4 years old at the time. And so for me, there wasn't this moment of, finding out that I was going to be a father, but more so choosing to become a father. And for me, this meant going from no kids to choosing to become a father instantly and navigating around being married and blending a family and transitioning from boyfriend slash fiance to a father figure. And this also meant that as a step parent, I wasn't a replacement parent or a substitute parent. And it was very awkward at first, but very manageable. My wife and I had this peace as far as, kind of being in this gray area, but excited that we had this blank canvas to paint or decorate the way that we wanted to decorate it. My son's father is in his life. He's a heck of a father who I consider an ally. And I like the camaraderie that we have because my stepson sees two adults getting along. He sees two men, two black men at that, modeling what respect and peace and maturity looks like instead of giving into this narrative that we're supposed to be enemies or be in constant conflict because of our family dynamic or situation. And then fast forwarding to about 4 years into our marriage when I found out that my wife was pregnant. And now I'm thinking about what it's going to look like to have a biological son and freaking out about the fact that we just, went ahead and created a whole human, And I remember these milestones, these first time moments like the gender reveal and putting together a crib for the first time and getting the baby's room ready and choosing a baby name and telling our parents and birthing classes and doing everything that we needed to do to prepare for the arrival of our little baby. And I also remember bouncing in between a ton of emotions like, high anxiety one minute and then high joy the next, and just a lot of uncertainty about how I wanted to raise my son and giving a lot of thought and prayer into the type of foundation that I wanted to lay down for him. And I knew that the building of that foundation wouldn't just start upon the arrival of the child. It starts way before with how you carry yourself, with being intentional about building a legacy, with having a vision for your marriage and for your home and parenting, and being mindful of how you manage your time and finances and setting boundaries around catering to that vision. And then about 7 months after the birth of my son, my wife surprises me with the news that she's pregnant again. And this time with a baby girl. And again, I remember experiencing a lot of those same feelings of joy and anxiety on and off, again. And with parenting, all of these first time milestones, there's this constant learning and unlearning and living and reliving. But, for the kids, there's a lot of first time milestones for them as well, because most of everything that they learn early on and throughout life is something that they watched you do for the first time, from their first words to learning to crawl and walk and maybe some baby sign language to riding a bike, driving a car, all these things throughout their life. And, they can also pick up on things like your demeanor very early on. And we're also their first friends, their first teachers, their first examples of what marriage looks like, and so many other things, right? And that's what we mean when we say, don't be a weak daddy. Do what needs to be done with the understanding that we don't have it all figured out, but are intentionally working toward a goal that's way bigger than us with whatever amount of time that God blesses us to have on this earth. And remembering that we must intentionally invest in our seeds and build them up and build well, because our ceiling will eventually become their floor for them to build with and to build on. And that's what I think about when I think about legacy.